Can you hear anything of the audience? Because I'm only using this hand mic.
I heard something there. I can hear you.
Okay. Let me grab my questions. They're already asking for you to do a run-through. Run-through Zomerspel. Right. No. Okay, so...
Damn, I don't run through.
Okay, welcome, everybody. I have a warm welcome for Richard Ham, who's phoning us from Malta. Have an applause.
Hey! Why am I clapping? That's ridiculous.
Okay. Okay, you can only see part of the room. There are actually more people sitting over there. So
actually, I see a black, dark back room with a guy with a green shirt walking by.
Oh, okay.
And he's now sitting down, and now he's laughing.
Yeah.
Now I see you here, very close.
Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Hi, everybody. Hello.
Okay, there we go.
That's a bit better.
Okay, so first of all, thanks for agreeing to do this. I heard there are a lot of fans of your videos in Belgium, and in Holland, and in Belgium, yes, of course. So
Holland represent.
Sorry, Holland.
Belgium in the house.
Yes.
That sort of thing.
One of the questions we went around and we thought about some questions to ask you, and then we thought about why don't we let the audience ask some questions? So questions that we're going to ask you are partly ours and partly the audience. If someone wants to ask a question, we'll come to that later. But first of all, why do you talk so fast?
I'm an American. That's what we do. It's actually interesting. I would say the reason is because my first job in the video game industry, when I worked my way up to be the designer on my first game, Siphon Filter, for the original PlayStation. I worked very closely with this big guy named John, who was an artist, and he was always trying to steal my job. I mean, literally. If I left for a week, when I came back, I found out John had tried to take everything. So he and I were in a constant war, and I found the only way I could win is if I out-talked him. If I talked him into the ground. And it's kind of almost a bad habit I've picked up ever since. I got to get every word in before it gets. And so I still talk that way to this day. So I have John to thank for that.
Okay, but even though you're still talking pretty fast, why are your videos then not shorter than the rest? Or I guess the question is, why do you record videos in the format you do? Why do you do a run through? Why not merely a review?
Well, it's mostly because when I started doing it, I figured, heck, if I'm going to make a video, I want to make a video that I would want to watch. And while there's nothing wrong with, the regular standard format for videos, and I still watch a lot. I watch Drive Thru Review and Dice Tower, and I watch everybody. But I find it much more useful if a video can actually transport me to the table and make me feel like I'm playing. Because just having somebody do a quick summary of the rules and then telling me what they think, that's nice. But that doesn't help me decide whether I want to spend 50 bucks or 50 euros for a game. And so really the format I hit on is the format that I did it for myself.
Okay. So that's what you would appreciate, someone showing the game in its entirety instead of just only a review. Okay.
Well, it doesn't have to be the entirety. It's just more about capturing the feel.
The feel. Okay.
I want to watch a video and I want to know what that game feels like so that I can decide whether I should get it.
But you're still alone. Why not play with a group? Because then that would be too many voices, too many influences, maybe.
Well, that's an interesting point. I would actually love. I mean, I watched the Dice Tower. What's it? The Miami Dice.
Miami Dice. Yeah.
Z and Sam and Tom. And I have to admit, I'm really jealous. I think that would be a lot of fun having that kind of roundtable discussion kind of thing. Actually, Joel Eddy of Drive Thru Review and Lance Meixler of Undead Viking, we have been trying for months to coordinate a three-way, videos of something similar. But me being in Malta, the time zones are really, really tough.
Yeah, I understand. Well, for them, but luckily for us, you're in the same time zone.
Yep.
Do you have by any chance a fixed gaming group, or I see that most of your reviews, you like to play with your wife. I think most people would like to play with their spouses. Do you have a fixed gaming group?
Yes, I do. I have a fixed gaming group of one. That's it. Just Jen, just my wife. She is the only one I play with on any kind of a regular basis, because we live in Malta. I'm sure your audience knows about Malta. We actually live on a tiny island northwest of Malta called Gozo that is pretty much just a farming community. I would not be surprised if Jen and I are the only people on this entire island who play modern board games.
Oh,
and so
that's a pity.
Yeah, there are a handful of groups on the main island of Malta, and it used to be when I was living over there, we would get together every once in a while and play, and I very much enjoyed that. But nowadays, for me to go over and play, I got to take a ferry, I got to drive from one side of the country to another.
Yeah.
It would take me upwards of 2 hours to get to them and 2 hours to get back, and it just doesn't make sense. No. Particularly because, honestly, as much as I like them, I like playing with my wife more anyway. She's awesome.
Okay, great. Oh,
honey, they're applauding you.
They're already. Is she there? Is she there?
This is my home. Yes, of course.
There she is. Great stuff.
And apparently, that's all you get.
Now, I saw that you have a lot of games in the background, and we're all hobbyists, and we can't do this for a living. I am assuming that you can't do this for a living, or you're retired. It all depends. But I saw you raised funding via Kickstarter. 2 years now in a row, or 2 years? I'm not.
Yeah. I just did my second yearly funding. Just finished in April.
Yeah. Do you have something to say about it? Why did you choose that? I know some of the details, and I like your approach very much. But could you explain, not completely not the pitch for the Kickstarter, but some.
Well, the situation I found myself in, as I'm sure most of your audience knows, I come from the video game industry, and it's good work if you can get it. And when I was working full time, I made enough money that I could just pretty much get any game I wanted. I didn't really have to worry so much because it's just me and my wife, Jen. We don't have kids. We have beagles. So our cost of living is fairly low. And this is my only hobby. I'm not into cars. I'm not into motorcycles. I'm not into boats. I'm into these. I'm into cardboard. And so when I was working full time, everything was cool. Everything was copacetic. But then, now that my life circumstances have changed, and Jen and I are living on a much more meager budget, I had to decide if I was going to keep doing Rahdo Runs Through. I had two choices: just review the ever-dwindling amount of games I already owned, or find an income stream so I can continue to get new games so I can cover them for folks. And actually, as I always do, I put the question to my viewers because I'm actually really, really involved with them. I mean, there is not a single question asked of me you can find anywhere online that I haven't answered. I always take the time to answer.
Yeah, and it's much
and so. Yeah, and well, I try, and the result was overwhelming. Everybody said, "Yeah, please, we want to support you. We love the show. We want to be able to give back." And so I was really nervous about it because it kind of changes everything. I haven't changed anything about how I film. I haven't changed anything about my opinions, but now that there's actual real money, people, I'm sure some people in that room, thank you very much. If any of you guys or girls donated. I feel like I have a bigger responsibility now because it's not just me with a camera goofing around. I actually have a responsibility to my viewers.
Sort of in the same line, responsibility. Do you sometimes review games for money? That's a question that often arises.
No. I do not. I know it's a fairly common thing to do previews and reviews for money, but no. The closest thing I get to that is. Sometimes when I do a review of a prototype, maybe they'll send me a copy of the game. About half the time, about half the prototypes you've seen me review, I ended up ultimately getting a copy of the game. But half the time I don't. So I mostly just do it for fun. Okay. I do it for the viewers.
And that's great. And it shows, of course, because the end result is a very enthusiastic guy talking about, a very great hobby. So thanks. And Now, you said that you had funding now. There's a sort of way to support purchasing those games. How do you decide, how do you select the games?
Well, I'm really, really careful. First and foremost, my number one concern is that I pick games that I'm fairly confident that Jen and I, not just me, but Jen and I will enjoy. Actually, just about a couple of months ago, Jen, we were playing, I thought, having a great time. And one afternoon, Jen said, you know what, maybe we should put, seems like lately we've been playing a lot of games that are just kind of, and I'm like, whoa. I don't want to lose my one playing partner because I keep doing, prototypes, because me personally, I'll try anything. I'll try a war game. I'm up for it. But Jen is a little bit more picky, and so I'm really, really careful. I know what she likes. I know what she doesn't like, and so that's my first criteria. And obviously, if it's a 3-player game, it's right out. Sorry, you can't figure out a way to just me and Jen to play it. It's not going to get played here. And then after that, so I'm constantly researching. In fact, I maintain a geek list on Board Game Geek of all the games that I'm excited about that are coming up. And so I'm constantly reading reviews. I'm constantly talking to people. And then once I've spotted ones I think are really, really interesting, I put it to the viewers, because I have the Rahdo runs through request list. This is another geek list that's on Board Game Geek. Anybody who likes watching can just go there, list a game that they would like to see me cover. And one, if it doesn't break any of my cardinal rules, number 1 rule, Jen likes it. Number 2 rule, it can play 2 players. Then and number 3 rule, it gets enough interest from other viewers, because everybody can thumb it. And if enough people thumb it, that tells me, okay, a lot of people want to see this, let's leave it on the request list. And then what happens, once a month, the people who have donated to give the donators something back, they get to do a special secret vote every month where they decide, of all the games that are on the request list, which are the ones I'm going to cover.
Great.
Yeah. So it's I don't have a lot of T-shirts and free promos and stuff like other Kickstarter games do. So what I gave back was a bit of control, so my viewers can feel like they're part of the show.
Okay. The thing I appreciate about your Kickstarter approach is that you're all the money you spend, there's a list of all the things you were going to buy. You're buying a plane ticket to Essen. Will you come to Essen this year, normally?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, so
actually,
great.
Jen and I are going to be at Essen this year.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Are there any... Well, you started out, I know with what game you started out with, which is...
Pandemic.
So, that's not an old game. It's So you're,
it's true.
Actually, there are a lot of people here that are, seniors to your experience, even though most people admire your collection there in the back. Apparently you have moved on from Pandemic. Do you still play it occasionally, or?
Oh yeah. It's still one of our absolute favorite games. The only reason we don't play it more is because there's always new games coming in.
Okay.
If I have one problem, it's that there are too many games coming in these days, and we can't play our favorites as much as we'd like to. And Pandemic is still, the In the Lab expansion was awesome. It really opened up the game. We loved it a lot.
Okay. Do you by any chance like that hidden player mechanic in the first expansion? Because I don't know, it's something you can't really play with 2 players, I guess.
Yeah, I've never tried it. Yeah, the secret, the bioterrorist, right? Yeah. I'd love to give it a try. It sounds really cool, but it's just not going to work with 2.
Okay, you see, like for instance, Dice Tower, they have a lot of top 10 lists, and other people use that approach to have a great format. Do you do top 10 lists?
Yes, I actually started doing them not too terribly long ago, because it was, again, something that people were asking for and really wanting to see. And I have to admit, for me, I've always, for the most part, tried to make my videos less about me and what I think. Because I haven't been playing cardboard for 20 years, so who am I to say? What kind of expert am I? I try to make them about the games. I try to let the game speak for itself. I try to give the game a voice, so that people can based off the quality of the game, not based on just some schlub in Malta who just happens to have a camera and talks really fast. But the longer I go, the more people, a lot of people come to find that their preferences kind of align with ours. And, and chances are, if Jen and I like it, that they'll like it too. And so I appreciate that and I understand that. So that's why I have started doing top 10s. Am I still there? Can you hear me? I'm getting reports of an internet connection problem. Mention of the connection. Skype is holding me on. Whew.
Do you need anything? Some water or anything?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if it's us. Come on. Show me a website. Nope, we're working. Must be them. Hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
Okay, we had some trouble with the internet connection.
These things happen.
These things happen, of course. Okay.
I mean, we're not quite living in a Buck Rogers future yet.
Not yet, yeah.
Not yet. Although, this is pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Just
actually,
as it is.
Actually, if you think about it, it's pretty damn
I know,
cool.
it's absolutely amazing. So I know you were in your head like, oh, God! You gotta remember, this is amazing that this is happening at all.
Thank you. Okay. The festival here is all about playing games, but a big part is this, as well as this showcase. We talked to young designers, even some bigger names in Belgian board game design, like Frederik Morrison, the guy who did Saboteur. You know the game? Small card game.
And then, again, not something I'm going to be playing much because not particularly good with only 2.
No, it's a two-player game. But
I'm aware of it, yeah.
Although I can, he said that he's working on the 3rd variant of Saboteur, specifically for 1 player, with a 2-player variant. He said that.
Wow.
Yeah. So, there you go.
That's cool. There you go. You guys heard it here first.
Yes, we saw
That's
it
an
here
exclusive
first.
scoop.
A scoop. We also had Etienne Esprimont, who is a designer for Bruxelles. You know that game?
Yeah, that is all. Oh, I'm sorry, wait, how did you say that?
The name of the game, or the name of his name? Etienne
the name of the game?
Bruxelles.
Brussels.
Bruxelles. Bruxelles, yeah.
1893.
Yeah.
Bruxelles. Okay.
Do you know
That's
that
an
game?
awesome game. Oh my gosh, that is. Tell him if you run into him.
Yeah.
Big fan. Great game.
He can show up because he's here, but he isn't listening to you right now. But maybe he can show up and maybe you can talk.
Well, screw that guy then.
Yeah.
I take everything back.
He also designed co-designed a new game called Essen, the game, which was on Kickstarter. For the younger designers, the names that, people you don't know, could they send you a game and would you review it, or would you say no, I don't have the time for something like that? Where do you draw the line? Do you get copies to review? Prototypes, very small prototypes.
Oh no, I definitely do. I don't have the time. That's a given. But in spite of that, I'm an idiot, and I'll still try to make the time. It doesn't matter whether it's the latest thing from Lookout Games or whether it's something from that some guy in Poland has just cooked up in his living room. If I think the game is going to be fun, if I think it's going to be something that Jen and I enjoy, I'll cover it. I mean, just recently I did run-throughs for. It was a Polish game from a first-time designer. Assault on Doomrock. Very cool little RPG game that really changes the way. And Forge Wars. Yeah, so I often do that. By all means, definitely contact me through Board Game Geek. I'm easy to find. My name is Rahdo. And usually what I ask is, okay, tell me about the game. All right, that we might enjoy that. Send me the rules, and I'll sit down. I'll read the rules through and through, and from that, I've played enough now that I've got a pretty good idea of whether there's a chance Jen and I will like it from that. And if we do, then they send me they send me a copy. Jen and I actually play it, and if I did my job right, it's one we like. I go ahead and make the video, and the rest is history. And hopefully, they become multimillionaires.
Hopefully,
because they've created the next monopoly. Although not really. But if it's not, I mean, just for full disclosure, if it turns out it's one I don't like, I contact them anyway, and I say, well, hey, it was kind of neat. We liked this and this and this, but here's why it didn't work for us. Do you still want me to do that video? And a lot of times they'll say, yeah, please do. And because about 1 out of every 5 videos I do, I end up in my final thought saying, this is why Jen and I didn't like it. But here's why you might like it. Yeah. So, that's basically the story of how a game goes from a dream in somebody's basement to being on my YouTube show.
Okay. You said
hopefully I haven't just opened up God knows what kind of doors now. But we'll see what happens.
There are only like 200 people here designing games. No, that's not true.
Shh, everybody be very quiet. It's just between me and you. Nobody else needs to know.
You said you were employed in the gaming industry, well, video gaming industry in the past.
Yeah.
And you were like a director or a project manager, or I don't really know what your role was, but were you in part designing games? And
yeah. I started out as a junior designer, and effectively I worked my way up to being a creative director, overseeing the design of multiple games at once.
Okay, great. And could you use that, well, the expertise you had in the past? Have you ever thought about designing a board game yourself?
No. That's hard work. I have nothing but respect. I'm sure there's a few people, you said Etienne's in the room, I'm sure he can confirm. I'm not that smart. All the math and whatnot goes into it. Well, I do think, my experience designing games and putting myself in the place of the player would give me some kind of insight. At the end of the day, honestly, I enjoy games too much to want to start trying to make them.
Yeah.
I'm too busy playing.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. You're back.
Okay. People are laughing because every time that happens, I partially go up on these stairs to the stage and then I come back. It's like a never-ending. Well, it's like a game, a ladder game. Yeah.
You're getting your cardio for the day. You're getting your workout. That's good.
Oh, would you? Well, I don't think
it's
going to matter. Maybe to save on bandwidth, we could skip sending our video to you. But
oh, okay, sure.
No. But let's keep it like this.
Right. If it goes bad, I don't mind looking at a picture of myself. That'll be fun.
Okay, and there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you believe in Kickstarter as a platform for younger designers, or do you think that, well, you were employed in the gaming industry? I guess you left before they started doing stuff like Steam and kickstarting video games. What do you think about kickstarting a board game?
I think Kickstarter is awesome. I'm the biggest fan in the universe of it, and I know it's in a lot of cases really, really controversial. People being upset that Queen keeps putting games on Kickstarter. And, hey, Kickstarter's for the little guy. It's not for the big guy. I'm like, come on, Queen is not a big guy. Queen is like 5 dudes trying to, they can use all the help they can get. To me, Kickstarter is just an incredible platform, or Indiegogo. Was it Schmidt-Spiele? Is that the German one? I think, I think, or Schmiede? It's like Game Forge, that's what it is, yeah. I think they're all fantastic. I think it's great to give, any potential creative the platform to potentially sell a game. So I think it's awesome. I think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah. Well, it's all awesome if everything's going all right and people don't get burnt on a game that, well, they spend money on up front and then in the end they'll have to wait. So, okay.
Yeah. I'm never going to be getting my copy of Vanuatu and Massilia, as I recall. I back that and
don't
know what happened.
It goes too bad, but okay. I'm about done here with my questions. I'm going to have a look at the audience. Is there anyone who wants to ask a question? You could come to me or I'll repeat the question. Here we go. This is Dieter, who's also one of the guys helping to present the showcase. So,
hello, Rahdo. First of all, I want to say I'm a big fan of you. I watch all of your videos. So I have a question for you. Last year I saw a video you did a run through for Essen. Live at the Essen Fair.
Yeah.
I would like to ask if you do it again this year.
I think so. I don't know. That was a. Are you talking about the one where I literally just walked through the entire show?
Yes.
Yeah. I loved doing it. It was a lot of fun. But I know it probably made quite a few people throw up trying to watch the thing because the camera motion was just insane, worse than normal. But I thought it was really, really cool. I definitely think I'm going to try to do it again. I'm also going to be doing the same thing at Gen Con in August. I'm going to try and do the same thing Again, because my videos of games are about letting you know what it feels like to play. I think my videos of convention should be, what does it feel like to be here?
Okay. I would ask if there are other people who have questions. Yes, come on.
Come on down.
Another, another one.
Richard, I'm one
Hello.
of the few people from Holland. We're mostly Belgians here, but there are three sitting there from Holland. My wife over there is even a bigger fan of you than I am, but I do have a question.
Okay.
How does your normal day look like? Is it just sitting at breakfast watching or waiting for the postman to bring new games, or do you have other businesses to attend?
My average day, oh, hello. I suddenly hear myself. Oh, it doesn't matter, does it?
No. That's
Okay,
an idea.
cool. Oh, right, yeah, it's not going to matter here because I'm just, yeah, okay. My average day, I'm a lazy bum and I sleep in until 9 a.m. One of the benefits of not having to work full time. Get up, have breakfast. Normally, I will try to do a run through in the morning because that's when Jen likes to do all of her glass work. You know, she's very industrious. She gets up at the crack of dawn, goes out and feeds the chickens, walks the dog. By the time I'm up, she's already, you know, in front of the torch working on glass. And so, you know, as long as she's not making too much noise, that's when I try to do a run through. I don't do a run through every day, but I probably do one at least every other day. And that'll usually take me 2 or 3 hours, depending on the game. Depending on, you know, sometimes things can just go horribly wrong. I know the end result is just one long cut, but there are plenty of times when I get like 15, 20 minutes into a game, like, oh my gosh, this is going so terrible. Let's just start over. And I'll just throw the whole thing away and start over. So it can take a while. And then I just start uploading it because it's going to take like 5 or 6 hours to upload to YouTube. Usually by that time, well, Jen's still working, so I'll sit down and I'll start reading rules. And by the time she's done working, sometime, you know, 3 or 4 in the afternoon, we'll play a new game, or we'll play another game because we haven't played enough. So I try to get her to play a game every day with me, you know, or games if I'm lucky. If I'm a lucky guy, that works out. And you know, so we'll play a game till like 6 or so. Then we'll take the dogs for a walk. We'll do chores, whatever. That's kind of like an ideal day. That's like the target, to be fair. But you know, I kind of hit it. And but, you know, if Jen can't play a game, that means what?
I think that would be an ideal day for most people here.
I think so, yeah. If it's a day that you know, Jen can't play a game in the afternoon, that's probably that much more time I'm spending on Board Game Geek that day. And if it's a day that for whatever reason I can't film a run through in the morning because I haven't played the game enough yet that I'm next going to run, so I maybe need to play it a couple more times to really get it, then that's probably more time I'm spending on Board Game Geek. I spend a lot of time on Board Game Geek too.
I've got one more question. My wife and I, we got a collection of approximately 400 games, and we store them horizontal. But I've noticed that you store your games vertically.
Yeah.
You don't have a problem with your game with your meeples or something. That's how do you store them?
Well, I do it this way because I just think it looks cooler. In all honesty, you're right. It is a little bit more of a problem, but. I don't know, I mean, I just think it has more of a feel like a bookshelf.
Yeah, bookshelf, yeah.
You know, it has that kind of, really a primal feel to it. Like, yes, I'm very smart. Look at all my bookshelf. But, really, it's not that much of a problem. Most of the time, I just throw the inserts out, put all the components in plastic bags, and it works okay.
And one final question, it's maybe...
Yes.
Yeah. My wife and I do play a lot of games, the two of us. We don't have kids. So a little bit like you and Jen. Is it right that we come over one day to play games with you?
If you find yourself in Malta, contact me. Yeah, I mean, I have had that happen before. There's been a couple of folks who are fans, and hey, we're going to holiday in Malta, and if you find yourself in Gozo, believe me, we are way out in the sticks. And you'll have to get a car, you'll have to spend half your day to get to us, but we've done that before. Which, again, I probably should not be saying in a public forum. Don't tell anybody that. But we have done that in the past, yeah.
It's worth trying anyway. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? No, not really?
Oh, they're all very shy.
Yeah, I think so. But they're intimidated by your amount of words, I guess. No. It's very, very great. So, I think we're about done here. We're going to wrap things up. Thank you very, very much. I hope we'll post a video online if you don't mind at some point in the future. And if people want to contact you, they know how to find you. Once again,
I'm on board, Game Geek.
Okay. Once again, thank you very, very much, and enjoy the rest of your day. We're going to play some games. See you later. Bye bye.
Talk to you later. Well done, you. Well done, you. I applaud you.
Thanks.
And bye bye.
Bye bye.